Yo, what's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United. How are you all doing today? We've got another cheeky little transfer rundown of all the latest days goings on at Manchester United, or not so much goings on, but just the latest situation, because there's not that much going on, is there? But, well, there is a little bit going on, but not a whole lot. But we'll cover it in this video and give you the latest rundown of the latest news. So strap yourselves in, baby, because it's going to be a screamer. But thank you for joining us, everyone. Welcome in the stream. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. A lovely day outside. So thank you for watching this instead of being outside. Well, some of you might be watching it outside, but if you are outside watching this, you probably want to sort yourself out, really, don't you? Get your priorities right. But either way, welcome in, guys. It's Luan France, Predator Reborn, Dynamic Melon. What's going on there? Madhouse, Dublin Games. Hello, United Forever, Super Fat Frank, Bell6891, Chrissy J, G-Wolf, Mikhail Kramer, Stephanie Griffith, Gungshi. Get in there, my son. Bell, Liam, Mikhail Kramer, hope you're good, bud. Boomy, Flying Pig United fan, United Mark, Jim Watkins, Superstar M, Leanne Reeson, Adrian Finney, Fung Sire, Duke of Rodtown, Tim Clurden, Dean M, Palmarius, Berserker. Great to see all you guys on the Head Football Live as well. And everybody else, thank you very much for joining us. Sorry if I missed you there, but do get in the chat throughout. We're going to be dipping in and out the live chat, see what you legends are thinking about anything we've discussed. So as always, fully interactive show. Get your thoughts and opinions in throughout. We'll have a big Q&A at the end of the stream also, and dive into what you guys have got to say. But plenty to get into today. But at the start of the show, smash that like button on it. That helps the stream out. Smash a like, share it around on social media if you want. There's a cheeky little retweet thing at the top of the live chat there. You can click that and give us a retweet or a share on Twitter or anywhere else. Tell your granny about it. That would be awesome. So, right, let's get stuck in then, guys. Welcome in, though, everybody. It's great to be back doing these streams regularly and getting back into the football news and goings on and waiting for the new season. And, of course, hanging out with you legends in the Bacon Brigade as well. The mighty Bacon Brigade, the best community in all the land. We are back. And it's going to be good. There's another show coming on later tonight as well, guys, at 8 p.m., which is going to be some of the guys doing a show as well. With a bit of a United debate show, so keep a lookout for that later on. But for now, let's get stuck into the latest news. And the biggest news, really, I suppose, in terms of potential players coming into Manchester United is there is a new bid expected to be coming for Mason Mount. So Fabrizio Romano late last night reporting that it's understood that Manchester United will bid again for Mason Mount. Personal terms are 100% agreed and sealed. Mount plans not to sign new deal at Chelsea. Man United want a quick resolution and won't make any crazy bids. Chelsea now flexible. £60 million / £65 million is enough to get it done. Okay, cool. So, it seems personal terms are agreed. That's what Fabrizio's reporting. There's also other reports coming out. This one's from the Daily Star, though, that says that Justin Mason Mount has agreed to sign a 5-year contract at Manchester United worth around £200,000 a week. But that is from the Daily Star, guys. Unless you're sort of trying to confirm whether or not somebody's got a nice pair of breasts, I don't know if we'd really go on what the Daily Star's got to say, really. But either way, that has been reported that it's 200k a week. Take it with a massive pinch of salt. But Fabrizio has basically said that, there is personal terms that have been agreed here between United and Mason Mount anyway. So the player is happy with what Manchester United's proposing, essentially. And he would be keen on coming to Manchester United. And of course, it's down to Manchester United and Chelsea to reach an agreement. It looks like that agreement could be around about £60 million. It's a filthy amount of money to pay for Mason Mount, as we've talked about recently. What a waste of money. What a waste of money could be ringing out throughout the terraces, throughout the land in about 6 months' time, if we're not careful, because I just don't understand it. But there you go. We're not going to get on my personal feelings about Mason Mount. You all guys all know that. I think he's a pretty bang average player. Certainly not worth 60 million quid. But there you go. That seems to be the amount of money that will be agreed between the two clubs. It's reported various places that it will be 55 million up front with a further £5 million in add-ons. So extra incentives there for Chelsea to sell him. Chelsea, I don't know how, but they're going to be doing a couple of fantastic bits of business for some of their surplus. I wouldn't say surplus, but some of their want-away players, essentially. 60-odd million for Havertz to Arsenal and £60 million for Mount to Manchester United. It's crazy money for a couple of absolute proven melters. So there you go, guys. I just want to put this out there now. I'm disgusted with Manchester United's transfer window so far. It's always the way, isn't it? I think it always will be the way until these Glazer parasite dickheads are out of this football club for good. They've always been like this, slow in the transfer window. It doesn't matter whether they're selling the club or they're staying at the club. Previous transfer winners have been the same. We always are so slow with our ability to bring in any players at the start of the window. We get left behind. It's very frustrating, guys. We just want to be bringing in a couple of decent players at the start of the window, take a bit of the pressure off. Just because they're selling the club, I don't really see why they can't just bring in somebody and add that little extra premium onto the sale of the football club. Get the business done now so we're not just scratching around towards the end of the transfer window. Absolute shambles it is. It's an absolute shambles. And, you know, the deals we are talking about doing right now seem to be pretty underwhelming for me. We've seemingly lost out on the likes of Kim Min-jae, who would have been a great addition, I think, to the football club. He's going to be going to Bayern Munich by the looks of it. I suppose there's still time for us to hijack that deal. There's no bid for us for Declan Rice at the moment, technically. We might have a bit of interest there, and there may have been rumours about him could come in this way with a potential swap deal for McTominay and Maguire. But there is no bid from Manchester United as of yet. And Man City, though, they have now bid for Declan Rice, which, is another player that we'd be interested in bringing in. It's more slow guff from the Glazer shithouses and the people running this football club, to be fair. And I've had enough of it, guys. Hashtag Glazers out. Just leave. Just go. Leave the football club in the next week, please, before the end of June, so we can start doing some business and getting some players in that we desperately need. Otherwise, we are going to actually be shackled at the start of the new season, just like we've been previously under these absolute toe rags. So there you go. Hashtag Glazers out in the live chat. It's pretty disgraceful to start this transfer window, but it's to be expected. I'm sure a lot of you guys were expecting this to happen at the start of this transfer window. Man United to be just fannying around like a bunch of fannies. It's what we do. It's what we do best. Just fannying around like a bunch of fannies. It's a real disappointment as always. But look, hopefully these Glazers are gone sooner or later. There has been, of course, a big delay in our ability to do any transfer dealings because of the Glazer shithouses being here and them not having the decency to sell the football club in quick time, really. They're still just trying to squeeze as much money out of the situation as possible. Yeah, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I get that. It's a big money move, big money sale of the football club. But crikey, 7 months it's been raging on for. It's a joke. Just need to get them gone, get the new owners in, sign some new players, start planning for the new season, give Ten Hag a bit of a helping hand. Ten Hag is, at the moment, growing more and more frustrated with the lack of movement in the transfer window and potential targets that we are interested in going elsewhere. It's not just Declan Rice. I mean, let's talk about the Rice situation for a moment, though, because, this is the reports. Declan Rice deal. West Ham always expected Man City to join the race after Gundogan decision. Man City will only bid if the player agrees to the move. Arsenal remain confident, prepared to bid again for Declan, Arteta insisting no approach from Manchester United. And then after that, Fab with another update that said Manchester City have decided to bid for Declan Rice after calling West Ham last Friday to be informed. Man City also checked the players' side, understand Rice is open to any move, so deal depends on the clubs now. Arsenal planning to bid again next week, but there's no fucking bid coming from Manchester United, is there? No, because we've got the shithouse Glazers in here at the moment still. And, he's just going to go to Manchester City then, isn't he? There you go. I mean, even if we were to bid for him, at this current situation, it's probably likely that he would rather go to Man City. They've got their cheating ways there. They've got their money. They've got everything they can provide him in terms of having the accolades and winning the trophies and challenging for the silverware. And so he would probably want to go there. We're just behind at the moment. We're behind all these clubs, and it's a despicable situation. So let's ask the live chat, though, really quickly. Where do you think Declan Rice... We'll get back onto Mount in a bit. It's boring. But let's talk about Declan Rice for a second. Where do you think Declan Rice plies his trade next season or this coming season? Will it be Man United? Will it be Man City? Will it be Arsenal? Will it be West Ham still? Let us know what you guys think in the live chat. But seeing as it seems like Manchester City have bid for him now, I just think that there you go. He's going to go to Man City, isn't he? Arsenal, says Josh. Arsenal, says MUFC UK. West Ham, says Luan France. Not us, says JRE. Rice is going to City to replace Gundogan, says Superstar. Primot says cheating City will nab him. Leon Reeson says a City bid, no one has a chance. I mean, they've just won the pig in treble, haven't they? So if you win the pig in treble, you kind of have a pick of the bunch, really. Plus, they got all the money and all the cheating, all the financial power behind them, etc. Elliot Manduna says City. Stephanie Griffith says City. JK's thinking Arsenal. I mean, I guess there could be a surprise there, but I would be surprised if he chose Arsenal over City. or even United, to be fair. If United were in the mix, I would imagine he'd rather go to United because United's just a better club, isn't it? Could be United or City, in my opinion, says Sing Game. Sing Game's great to see you, but yeah, well, you know, I hope you're right. I hope you're right that United do have a chance. The facts are the facts, though. As of right now, Man United have not bid for Declan Rice. It's been, you know, reported far and wide today that City have bid for Declan Rice. There is no bid for Manchester United at the moment. That's all we've got. So clearly here, no approach from Man United yet. Now, there is a big amount of the time left in the window. It doesn't suggest that, you know, we're not going to go in for him. We might well go in for him. And actually, West Ham may favour doing a bit of business with Man United right now because we can provide them with a little bit of cover. Like, for instance, McTominay going in the opposite direction is a decent player that Moyes would like because he's a Scotsman himself. He likes an iron brew just as much as Scotty does. So, you know, he might well want to bring him into the side. He's a decent sort of a player. And if they were to sell Rice to City, say, there's a chance that they might come knocking for McTominay in a cash deal anyway. So there is that. There's also the Maguire link that we talked about yesterday. So it's possible they might favour doing a deal with United because they could get somebody else or even two players in return. Very unlikely. But David Ornstein reporting the same. Manchester City expected to submit an offer to West Ham for Declan Rice today. Manchester City have serious interest in recruiting the 24-year-old midfielder. I thought he was 22. Is he? I thought he's 22, guys. Is he 24 or 22? Anyway, this says 24. I thought he was 22. Whatever. It is anticipated a formal bid will be lodged soon to rival Arsenal for the signing. So, obviously, Arsenal were the front runners in this deal. But in regards to, you know, whether or not City are incoming for him, it looks like they have now bid. So very frustrating. And it's not just that that's frustrating, guys. It's not just that that's annoying. Okay, he's 24 then. It's not just that that's annoying. Ornstein should know, to be fair. It's not just that that's annoying, right? It's this. Arsenal are advancing on a full agreement on personal terms with Jurrien Timber. The player has accepted to join Arsenal. Negotiations will follow between Ajax and Arsenal in the next hours and days. New bid expected soon. For fuck's sake, mate. It's a shambles. We're losing out on all these targets, all these prospects, all these players that should be coming to Manchester United. This guy is Ten Hag's best bud a little while ago. Ten Hag could have maybe brought him in there if he was actually allowed to go and sign players right now. But unfortunately, he's not really. You know, we're just going to do the bare minimum at the start of this window until we've got rid of the Glazer shithouses and managed to get somebody else in. That's the facts. So, there you go. Don't expect Man United to do any real business in this current window right now until we've got rid of the Glazers and they have completed the sale of the football club, which cannot come soon enough, if you ask me. It's got to happen before the end of the month, guys. Get these parasites out. Start with the new regime. Get the players gone that have been stinking up the gaff for the last few years and start signing the new crop of players who are going to be the future of Manchester United. And we're missing out on players, aren't we? We're missing out left, right and centre, whether it's Declan Rice potentially, Jurrien Timber, or the, you know, there's lots of players we're missing out on and it's a disgrace. So there you go. But yeah, Arsenal interested in sniffing around Jurrien Timber. Man United target previously, the Dutch link, the Ajax link, the Ten Hag link. Seemingly, we can do nothing really because we just don't have the new owners in yet and not prepared to spend. So there we are. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. But anyway, let's get back into the what we were talking about at the start of the show. Just had to go off on a little tangent about the Glazer shit houses, guys, and how badly they are running this club even at the end of their tenure here. They can't leave us with a nice parting gift, can they? No. The parting gift they're going to leave us with is a bang average overrated Mason Mount. There you go. I mean, it's very frustrating because I think if you actually consider all the talents of players we could go for, spending £60 million on Mason Mount represents really bad value for money. So even the last sort of deal that they could potentially do before leaving is a bad one, in my opinion. It's crazy. How much is Mason Mount worth, guys? And let me know in the chat. Okay, so he's worth 35 to 45 million max, aka 40 million quid. That's what he's worth. And a lot of that money is based on the fact that he's the right age, he's only 24, and he's also a homegrown player, which helps in terms of your homegrown quota. In terms of actual ability and actual quality and just being a complete all-rounder, he's really quite mediocre. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong and that he turns out to be a fantastic player for Man United. But I think this is going to be a bit of a dodgy signing. I hope Ten Hag can really get this guy back on track, develop him well. He has had good times of it previously in the past at Chelsea, not the last season gone, he was gash. And also for England, he's done quite well at times. But I've never been mesmerised or blown away by the guy. Thank you, Ronnie Dodge, for your £2 super chat here. He says Fab retweeted his tweet. I think we are close, says Ronnie Dodge. Yeah, I saw that, absolutely. So he retweeted the tweet about Mason Mount. It seemingly is quite close at the moment. Lots of people in the live chat. Gungshi saying 40 million. United Mark says 30 million max. 45 to 55 says Josh Lee. 40 says John O'Connor and Boomy. Mbuso Nkosi says Mount 40 million max. So there you go. We're paying 20 million over the odds for a bang average Chelsea Mount. What are we thinking, guys? It's just classic mediocre meltiness from our board and from our recruitment team, getting players in, overhyped players at that, and paying too much money for it. You know, we might as well start calling him Mason Maguire, you know, with that sort of a price tag and what he's achieved so far in the game. It's just disappointing. Ronnie, thank you for the super chat. Can we get some love hearts in there for Ronnie Dodge? Thank you for the £2 super chat there, Ronnie Dodge, lad. Super chat, super Ronnie Dodge. Westy says 35 million max. 20 million, Slabhead and the Glazers, says John O'Connor. Okay, fair enough. Look, if we could include a player in return again to Chelsea, that would be a great bit of business, wouldn't it? But who? Who are Chelsea realistically going to want from Man United's current squad? It doesn't really add up. So, yeah, I mean, look, we could get rid of some of these players to lesser teams in the league, but Chelsea have ambition. They've spent hundreds of millions in the last year alone. They're not really going to want Slabby Maguire for them, I don't think. Alberto Buafo says 20 mil. Another Mata situation, says Ronnie Dodge. Well, I mean, look, Mata was a good player for us, to be fair. If he turns out to be a Mata-type player for us, that would be good. I would like that. But in my opinion, Juan Mata is 10 times the player that Mason Mount is. You know, in terms of his technical ability and his vision and everything. I mean, he was Chelsea's player 2 years in a row before Manchester United signed him from Chelsea. So it's slightly different. You know, he is... I think Juan Mata was a much better player, and we were expected to get a much better player, and we were more content getting a much better player. But Mason Mount is kind of an average player. He's a decent player. He's got future ahead of him. He's still got many years to develop and turn into a really great player. But it's just very underwhelming signing. Very underwhelming signing. Stephanie says, Matic, Mount, not progressing, are we? And I guess Matic was a good signing as well from Chelsea, I suppose, in a way. I mean, maybe it was towards the tail end of his career, but look, we have picked up a couple of decent players from Chelsea in the past, and maybe this one will fall into that category, and he'll turn out to be a good player for us. But just too much money, way too much money. It's about 20 million too much money. Just goes to show you how poor we are in the recruitment of players, and it's the final Glazers parting gift for us, along with a shiny turd that they're going to leave in the dugout probably, because these are the sort of guys we're talking about. Parasites, scumbags, dirtbags. That's the sort of guys we're dealing with here. So, yeah, I'm not expecting much from them before they go. Once they have gone, that's when I expect the floodgates to open and Man United to start doing some serious business and signing new players and bringing in really good quality talents and maybe surprising a few people with a really ambitious signing. That's what we're looking for. That will happen maybe when we've got, say, Sheikh Jassim as the owner. But until that happens, not going to happen, is it? Mikey, thank you for the £2 super chat, boss. Come on, let's go. Let's get some love in the chat for Mikey. Good to see you, mate. He says, hello, Pig. Hope things are going okay with you now. Yeah, you know, not too shabby, Mikey. All things are going okay. You know, I suppose that's a way of putting it, yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, yeah, still dealing with a lot of issues and grief and stuff like that, and just trying to sort out the house and all the affairs and planning for the funeral and shit like that. But other than that, yes, mate. Thank you very much for your super chat, Mike. I hope you're doing good, boss. Thank you very much for that. You was a statue of the Glazer Bros going up outside Anfield. Right, okay, personally, what I think we should do, actually, is I think we should put a statue of the Glazers up outside Old Trafford. But it shouldn't be a nice statue. It should be like a statue of them, I don't know, maybe one of them noshing the other one off or something. And then maybe we could like have a little podium where people can stand and chuck fucking fruit and vegetables that are rotting at the statue, you know, before the games for a bit of fun. Maybe that makes a little bit of sense. But in regards to, you know, them having any sort of a statue or any sort of legacy at Manchester United, it's not going to happen, is it? What a horrible regime it's been. You'd pass on that statue, says Mbuso. I think Manchester City Council might have a bit of an issue with that statue as well, to be fair. But I'm just saying, that would be a good statue. Gungshu says, I like this idea, Pig. Yeah, you know, why not? Have a Glazer statue outside, maybe painted like a clown going forward, that people could just go and graffiti. Maybe people could just go and toss rotten tomatoes at. You know, it does make sense. Exactly, Melissa Smith. It would be a good tourist attraction. Exactly. We could call it the Glazers Out Memorial. It would be good. Avram in the bathroom. I like it, and Booster. Yes, Avram Glazer on the shitter, lad, with his pants round his ankles, reading the Financial Times, and you could just go up and you can just, you know, put a dog turd on his head or something and take a photo of it next to it. Sounds like it would be a great attraction. I agree. Anyway, that's the only legacy they're going to have at this football club. Is a shite, a legacy, if you will, not a legacy, a legacy, because it's like a big log that they have basically given Manchester United fans for the last 17 years. By the way, guys, we have got 68 likes on the stream, 111 people watching. That's awesome, but let's get 111 likes. If you haven't yet, please do smash that like button on this stream, hit the thumbs up, have your say in the chat, get involved, make sure you drop a like, it helps the channel out. Let's get this sucker to 100 likes, and also share it around if you want to do that somewhere. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We're going to be covering all the latest United news on the channel throughout the transfer window. So show your support. It's free to do so, and it's free content at the end of the day. So get yourself in there raw. Okay, so more on Mason Mount, just to give you a bit more of the story. So Ben Jacobs reporting that United remain optimistic on Mason Mount. They know he wants the move. Chelsea very much interested in selling and not extension mode after Mount indicated that he won't sign a new deal. So Mason Mount is pushing for a move to Manchester United. There's no doubt about it. He wants a new fresh start. It's gone sour with him at Chelsea now. The last season was piss poor, and he was out of favour, and he's going to have to go somewhere else in order to hopefully revitalise his career. And of course, if Man United are going to sign Mason Mount and Ten Hag wants to sign him, I trust Ten Hag. Largely, his signings have been absolutely fantastic so far, and I will back him. I will try and support him and hope that he does turn into a fantastic player under Ten Hag at United. It can happen, but I still reserve my right to say that I think he's pretty bang average. Jack Dawson, thank you for your £5 super chat here, my friend. He says, hi, Pig, mate. Fantastic to see you back. Sending love to you, sir. Thank you very much indeed there. Guys, can we get some Sues in there, please? For Jack Dawson, that's very much appreciated, Jack Dawson, lad. Thank you so much. How's Rose Do It Be Cater doing at the moment, mate? Jack Dawson, no, bit of obscure one there, but thank you so much, Jack Dawson, you legend. I appreciate that. I'm not doing too badly. Thanks for asking, lad. Thanks for asking. And Booster says, where's Gungshi? Gungshi's right there. He says, hi, Johnny M. Gungshi's in the chat. G-Wall says, if we have a statue of the Glazers, could have foam all around it, and before everyone goes in for the match, you have a chance to punch the shit out of it. Dude, I like where you're coming from here. You know, like those punch machines that measure your strength when you punch, and you push the button and it comes down with a thing. We should just get a couple of those outside. One with Avram's face on, the other with Joel's face on. You can just go and pay 50p, and then you can punch a Glazer. What a fantastic idea, G-Wolf. To be fair, that is absolutely brilliant. That's what we need. Now, that is the sort of attraction outside of Old Trafford that I would like to see. Good shout. That's a fantastic idea. Thank you for that, though, Jack Dawson. I appreciate that, lad. Okay, so Ben Jacobs reporting this. He says that Man United are hoping for under £60 million. Chelsea would definitely accept a package of £65 million, but perhaps less now. I think they're going to have to be realistic with their valuation here. They're asking for £65 million. Man United have already submitted a bid of £40 million a while ago and £50 million just yesterday, which was rejected. The way I see it is it's probably going to be 55 million in total, or 60 million in total, that Man United do agree this deal with Chelsea for Mount for. That's what seems realistic. It's either going to be 55 million up front with 5 million in add-ons, or maybe we could do a deal for £50 million and 5 million in add-ons. That is possible. But at the moment, it's reported far and wide that Chelsea are hanging on for £60 million, and that does seem the figure that probably is realistic for United to get that deal done. Let me ask the chat, though, guys. What do you think we sign Mason Mount for in the chat? Let us know. So I'm not asking you what he's worth. We've done that. Everyone said 35 or 40 million. What do you think we pay? I think we pay 55 million. 55 million pounds for the guy. And that is a bit of an overpayment. We are paying a premium there because he's moving between two rival Premier League clubs and because he's an English player. And you do have to do that. So it's a shame. But yeah, in my opinion, we probably will get Mason Mount He probably will be the first signing of this summer transfer window for Man United, and will have overpaid to bring him in. 55 mil with 5 million add-ons, says Big T. 55 and 5, says Superstar. Yeah, good shout. I think you guys are probably on the right track there. JK says, I think if the Glazers stay, they'll panic buy for 60 to 70 million. Don't talk about the Glazers staying, lad. The Glazers aren't staying. They're like a fart in an astronaut suit. Nobody wants them here anymore. They're stinking up the place. Get rid of them. It's gone. Done. 55 would be a shame, but good. Anything over 60 is a joke. Completely agree there, Mbuso and Kosi. What is the point of having more, player like that coming in for more money than that? It's crazy. When you can go and spend a little bit more maybe and go and get a real top quality player. Exactly. Okay, so the Mirror reporting that Manchester United have found middle ground with Chelsea over a deal for Mason Mount, who is now closing in on a £60 million transfer. Right, okay, nice one. Thanks, the Mirror. But, that is reasonably, I think that's reasonably fair to say that that's the case. That it's probably going to be 55 or £60 million that we get the deal done for Mason Mount, guys. Okay, right, let's just talk about some of the other transfer news, and then, actually, I'll dip into the live chat for a few minutes, guys. We'll dip into the live chat, see what you legends are saying about this whole Mason Mount United situation, and then we'll get on to the next couple of topics that I've got here, and any latest breaking news that comes out also. So have your say on Mason Mount very quickly before we move on, and let's see what you guys are saying. So Duncan says, no more offers, let them sweat. I agree. Like, why are we sort of bending over to Chelsea's demands here? Yeah, we want to do a bit of business early, but we don't want to overpay for an average player. Luan says, I'm already sick of transfers or lack of thereof. It's more of the same Glazer guff, isn't it? We can only dream, please, and hope for the future when we've had, say, Sheikh Jassim in at the football club, that we have the ambition to sign players early doors, and we have ambition to sign the best players that we can as well, not just players that would be decent players to fit certain quotas or that other players want to get rid of. I don't want any Chelsea cast-offs, really. If Chelsea want to get rid of a player, that's a big red flag for me anyway. I'd much rather have a player that they don't want to get rid of, if you know what I mean, and we have the ability to bring that player in. That's what we want. Look, Mason's a decent player. He's a good player, isn't he? He's decent. But I just want somebody who's a little bit more higher profile, a little bit more class, really. We want to be looking at some of the best players around. So it's a bit of a shame that we're going in for him at all, if you ask me. Baltimore Cyber Cafe, hello, says Mount to Man United. Certainly looks like it. Chelsea barely has any hand here. They risk losing him for free if they don't accept any bids. Yeah, he's only got a year left, I guess it's true. But they're trying to get huge money for the guy. He's 24, though, so I guess he's got some age on his side where, in terms of an asset. He is obviously not going to go for a peanut amount of money, but 60 million is too much for a player with only a year left on his contract. I agree, Abu Bakar Jallo. He says, why are we even buying an average player if Mason is average? Don't know, Abu, but I mean, he's had moments in the past that are good. I don't think you can really judge him on the last 12 months because the whole vibe at Chelsea was just pure shite, wasn't it? And he didn't do well in that setup at all. He has had good seasons previously. I suppose what it is that he's still got a key word. He's got the potential. He's got the potential still to go on and do good things. Ten Hag could revive him. But why the hell are we signing players we have to revive all the time? What is Ten Hag? Is Ten Hag a bloody doctor, is he? Is he going to get the old heart paddles out on Mason Mount and give him a jolt of electricity or something? Like, why are we having to do that with all these players? He had to do it with a lot of the players in the squad when he first came in at United. Rashford was an absolute shadow of himself the season before. Lots of players. Luke Shaw had a melter season before. There was quite a few. Wan-Bissaka was off the boil. He's had to turn around quite a few of the players' fortunes at United and revive them, most of which he actually has been able to do that. There's a few players that he hasn't been able to do that for, really, but he has more or less managed to do it. So I guess there's that hope there that we could maybe capitalise on a player who wants away from a rival, who is a good player, is only 24, who is homegrown, and who can maybe come back on and do some really good things in the future. So I guess there's that. There's like a feeling, maybe a possibility that we could revitalise him. But why are we always having to play the reviving role? Why can't we just go and get somebody who's proven ready-made class, who's just going to come in and slot in, and we've got 100% confidence that he will be a great player for us? Because I don't think anybody could really say, 100% Mason Mount's going to be a success at United. I just don't think anybody can say that. I think more than likely he will be, but there's a good chance that he could fail. There's a good chance we could be calling him Mason Maguire soon enough. So that's my problem with this deal, is that it's another reviver situation. Why do we always have to do that? That's true, Gungshi. He says Ten Hag is the reanimator. There you go. You know, we've seen players do it. Players come in previously for United and need reviving. You know, I remember Sir Alex Ferguson doing it a lot of the time as well. It is a trait that Ten Hag seems to have, that he can get players back on track and give them that confidence and be able to get them to perform. So hopefully that happens. You know, I'm not going to hate on Mason Mount if we sign him. I'm going to support him and hope that he goes on and does good things. Still don't want him, though. Still don't want him. I think he's going to be a poor sign in overall, but I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Rumours Saudi will loan Neves to Newcastle for 2 years. What do you make of that? That sounds like absolute horse's ass, mate. Who's believing that, Big T? Why the hell would Saudi Arabia spend the money to bring in Ruben Neves just to loan him back to Newcastle? Are you smoking crack there, lad? What? Certainly, I don't know. That's rubbish. Jim Watkins says, how are you, Pig? How is your day going, bro? Hey, not too bad, mate. Thank you for asking. I'm not doing too shabby. I hope you're having a good one as well. Thank you so much. Eric Ten Hag would cook with the right signing, says Mbuso Nkosi. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Duke of Rodtown says, what you just said, Pig, regarding this whole Mason Mount fiasco is exactly why we need several players from the Canadian men's national team, in my opinion. You what? Said no one ever, other than the one Canadian in the live chat, and Luan Francis, Canadian from Canada as well. But you what? I mean, look, Alphonso Davies. Yeah, we'll take a bit of Alphonso Davies. Jonathan David's decent as well, but... You know, really? I've never heard anybody say that before, other than you. But respect. Yeah, that's right. To make Man United great again, we need Canadian players. You what? The only Canadian I can remember playing for Manchester United was Owen Hargreaves. And Hargreaves is Canadian for no knees. You know, he was actually, obviously played for England, wasn't he? But he was born in Canada, I think. That's what I'm saying here. But anyway, Owen Hargreaves is actually really, really good. Problem is, he just wasn't fit and available and ready at all. But anyway, we're getting off on a tangent here about Canadian players. There's no need. There's no need. It's not going to happen, is it? We would take Alphonso Davies, to be fair, but that's not going to happen. It's just very unrealistic. Anyway, right, okay, keep smashing the likes, guys. Keep hitting that thumbs up button. We're almost at 100 likes. Every little like helps, so drop a little thumbs up on it and subscribe if you want to have your say in the live chat. Let's get on to the next order of business then. More news coming out off the vine this morning. Hannibal Mejbri. Fabrizio Romano reporting just a little while ago that Hannibal Mejbri, not concrete target for Borussia Dortmund at this stage, as Borussia Dortmund have different priorities in that position. But there are links at the moment with Mejbri and a move away to a different football club. It does say that United are open to discuss his future, but there's no negotiation with Dortmund as of today. So there are reports that clubs are interested in bringing in Hannibal Mejbri, not necessarily Dortmund just as of yet, but potentially. What do you reckon, guys? Keep or sell Mejbri? Oh, we've got to keep him, mate. We've got to keep him. I'll tell you why. Because what are we going to get for Mejbri at this stage? Not very much money. It would be a pittance, just like, I don't know, the Zidane Iqbal situation. Mejbri seems to have really raw talent. It looks like a very good young prospect. Why would we let him just go for not very much money? What's the point of that? It's completely pointless. We should be trying to develop these players and give these players some opportunities. And if the opportunities are not coming at Manchester United, then loan him out, give him opportunities elsewhere, but don't just let him go for peanuts. He's too good of a young player. He's maybe not ready now to obviously break into the first team, but he's a good young player, and if we just were allow him to go somewhere else, we're going to lose out on that development. We're going to lose out on a bigger price tag in the future. If he doesn't work out to be good enough for United, we could sell him on for bigger money. Like, I don't understand this model of getting rid of all these youngsters for peanuts at the moment. I get it. Ten Hag maybe is ruthless. Maybe he thinks, right, okay, we only really want to crack on with the youngsters that have got the raw talent and really have shown that they're capable of developing into one of the world's best players. That's what he's looking for, I guess. He's not looking for bang average players or players that could be good. He wants these youngsters who are going to develop into really top players. But it's hard to say who's going to develop into a really top player. Sometimes people will surprise you. Sometimes players who are on a really fantastic trajectory don't turn out to be a top tier player. And other players who are maybe a little bit under the radar do turn out to be top tier players. It's not always an exact science there. So If that was the case, Paul Pogba would be the best player in the world right now, and he's shite. So, it doesn't really work out that way. You've got to help these players. You've got to nurture these players, develop them, give them chances. And if you can't give them chances in your first team, I understand there's a point where trying to get results. You've got to balance experience and youth. You can't just be chucking in all these youngsters. Well, then give them opportunities at different football clubs and give them loans. So that's where I'm at. You'd keep him, Mikheyu. Yeah, Mikheyu, absolutely agreed. Keep 100%, says JK. Hargreaves as choice of 4 countries. Quite interesting, Mikheyu. Yeah, fair one. Alphonso Davies is rubbish, just a speed merchant. I do disagree with you there, United Mark. He's very versatile, good player, and he's young. Avoid English, French and Dutch players, says must play. Fair play to you. So, yeah, you'd keep the guy. A lot of people would say keep the guy on the books at the very least. Thank you, Ms528, for the £2 super chat here, my friend. Come on. Get in there, my friend. Can we get a hashtag Miz in the chat? He says, welcome back, Pig. Thank you, Ms528. It's good to be back, lad. Thank you very much for the super chat. It's very kind of you. And it's good to be back, lad. And Miz with a 32-month member comment. Thanks for being a member. 32 months. Hashtag 32 for Miz in the chat. He says, welcome back, Pig, again. Thank you so much for the double welcome back, man. That is a warm welcome indeed. Cheers for that, Miz528. That's very kind. Very kind indeed. Very kind indeed. Mikhail Kramer, thank you for being a member for 35 months yourself, bro. Proper legend. He says, in Ten Hag we trust / hope. Right, yeah, I see what you did there. I mean, look, he's still unproven in the sense of having that real, that Midas touch. He's done really fantastic things at United with developing the squad and developing all the players really within the squad. Most of the players have benefited from Ten Hag being here. But he's still made a few errors here or there. We'll see if he's making the right decision by wanting Mason Mount for this amount of money. We'll see if he's going to continue with this upward trajectory at Manchester United this season and get us to finish in a better position in the league. Hopefully that's the case. We want to be challenging for the Premier League if possible. I know that's not really realistic. I mean, let me ask the chat, guys. It does really depend on the sort of summer transfer window we have, though, so it's hard to really say right now. But let me just ask the live chat, guys. Where do you see Man United finishing this season? I'm going to try and be optimistic and say second, but that is very optimistic. It's always hard up the top there. Man City, unless they get punished for their financial breaches and disgusting cheating bullshit, I don't think they're going to be derailed anytime soon. There's also those other teams that are spending money right now who will be vying for those top positions. I'm going to be optimistic and say second. But let's see what you guys are saying. Thank you, Mikheyu. 6th says Tafiso and Barter. 1st says Primot. Love your optimism. Top 3 says Miz. 3rd says Jay. 3rd says Boomy. Be real. 3rd says TJ. I'm trying to be optimistic and say that if we get Sheikh Jassim in within the next week or two, then we could sign loads of good players and give Ten Hag what he needs to do a job, and he could really surprise a few people. I mean, he surprised me with his performance this season. Never expected us to finish 3rd and actually be in some finals and actually win a trophy. He did surprise a lot of us this season. So why couldn't he surprise us again? Especially if he's actually backed and supported by the new owners. 2nd treble incoming for United, says Big T. Top 4, you say 3rd, says Superstar. Hi there, Momo Mino. What's going on, bro? Westy says 3rd or 4th. Top 3 says Simon Almeida. Yeah, exactly. Sheikh Mansour, I wish I had his company. Oh, there you go, Lucky Singh. They are very much indeed rich over there at Manchester City, and they have the pick of the bunch, really. Qatar owner 2nd, says TJ. Jim says it depends if the Glazers go. We can finish 1st, otherwise 3rd. Yeah, spot on. We won't sign many players because of financial fair play this summer, though. We have to sell a lot first. Yeah, but we can sell players, Superstar. So it's understood. I mean, it depends who you believe, but the reports are, £120 million is probably what Man United can spend without selling players. But if we sell players, then we can spend a heck of a lot more than that. We want to sell players anyway. We want to get rid of the guff hangers on at United and flush them away. That's what we want anyway. So we can do business. I went over this yesterday, so I'm not going to bore you again with it all today, but I'll just do a quick list of players and roughly what we could get for them. Yeah, some of them are on big contracts, so it's harder to sell them for big money. But conservatively, Fred you can get 20-25 million for. McTominay 20 million, 25 million at the most. Maguire 25 to 30 million. Henderson 20 million quid. The goalkeeper Tellez few million quid. Bailly few million quid. Martial 10 to 15 million quid. Maybe even a little bit more if you're lucky. But he is on a lot of money and he is injury prone and a melter, so maybe not. There's 5 or 6 players right there. Donny van der Beek 20 million quid. Why not? Why can't we just have a fire sale, get rid of all of these players? You know, I'd like to see Eric Ten Hag open up his garage door, get the old wallpaper pasting table out, and put these players on it with a cheeky sticker on them, and have a bit of a garage sale, as you Americans would call it. You know what I mean? Have a bit of a yard sale. That's what we need. We need to set the stall out and sell these players. Get rid. Clear the books, and then we'd be able to generate some cash. No doubt. So, I don't know, 80 to 100 million pounds we could generate by selling players. It's highly possible. TJ says Sancho loan. Right, okay, well, Sancho's a tricky one because Sancho is the sort of player that is overpriced and overhyped and overpaid. So it's going to be difficult to convince a different team to go and buy him from us because he is, let's face it, underwhelming. He's an underperformer and he's on big money. And so nobody else is going to want to touch him for that sort of money that we pay him unless you could perhaps do a deal for, I don't know, somewhere like Saudi Arabia. But would he want to go there? Probably not. Why wouldn't he just sit at Manchester United, collect his 300 odd K a week, and just be another Phil Jones? Or you know, it's quite possible that he would stay even if there was a club that wanted to take him. So I don't know, guys. I mean, I don't think Sancho's realistic for us to sell. I think we're kind of stuck with Jadon Sancho for a little while anyway. Okay. Which players would you keep at United, says Yuwa? Well, a lot of the players I would keep at United. You know, there's some really good prospects. You know, Rashford obviously is a great player. Bruno Fernandes, a great player. We've got Pellistri and Garnacho, fantastic youngsters. Anthony hasn't really had too long to develop really at United, and Ten Hag's got a lot of faith in him, and he's done some good things. He's not blown me away, but he's done some good things. I think Casemiro's a don, obviously. The back four essentially is fine, really. Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Varane, and of course Martinez. That's a solid back four. You want to improve upon it, get some more depth, but that's a solid back four. And then, you know, beyond that, there's not that many players that I would be bothered if they went. There's really not that many players I'd be that bothered about going. So, but a lot of these players that are here would be still good to keep hold of for a while. Guys, you can't have it both ways. You complain when they're sold cheaply, but you're calling for a fire sale. Okay, well, I'm not saying necessarily that these guys need to be sold for dirt peanuts. You know, like Zidane Iqbal for £1 million makes 0 cents. But certain players, I wouldn't really be bothered if we sold them for a very little amount of money. Like Tony Martial, if he sold for 15 million quid, I understand it because he's barely fit, he's very inconsistent, he's overhyped, etc. And he's also just a player we cannot rely on. And he's on big money. So, look, United don't do well in terms of selling players. We don't make profits on players that we buy because we overpay them. We give them new increased contracts all the time when they're not worth that. That's why we've got bang average players on hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. And so when it comes to actually trying to sell these players, you can't get big money for them because other teams are going to have to factor that in. Unless United want to pay an X amount and pay a certain amount of the player's wages for the remainder of our contract and let him go to a different club for less money, it's not going to happen. So therefore, other clubs don't want to pay the money that they're actually worth on paper because they've got huge overinflated wages. That's why we're so bad when it comes to recruitment, because of, like, we buy players, we give them big contracts, and we are buying players that are really kind of overhyped, and we're giving them too much too soon. There's no way Jadon Sancho should be on a few 100,000, 375k a week or 350k a week, some people suggest. No way that he should be on that sort of money. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then other players in the club, like Martial on a couple of £100,000 a week, Maguire, these guys. How are you going to sell Maguire when another club has to pay him 180 grand a week, say? It doesn't add up, does it? They're not going to want an absolute breezebox slabinator who's a liability, meme-worthy own goal machine and pay them huge amounts. But Maguire he's not really going to want to go somewhere, I don't think, and take a big pay cut because he's getting cash. He's getting cash money in his bank account every single week, even though he's shite. Same reason why Phil Jones stuck around here for so long, because he could have gone elsewhere. There was opportunities. He could have gone out on loan to a French team or wherever previously. He's decided, no, I just want to stick around here and get my paycheck and do nothing because it's easier than going and actually, you know, trying somewhere for less money. And I get it, really. Why would you walk when you've got a big contract? You're getting paid big money. So there's that you've got to factor in. It's like United pay all of our players too much. Griffo Chaz, how you doing today, mate? He says, everything about United is on 0.5 speed. Takeover, player signings, player sales, contract extensions. This club could get Usain Bolt to run the 100 meters in 5 hours. I like what you did there, Crypto. Yeah, great United fan, Usain Bolt. I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We're just slow and very disappointing. Absolutely, mate. Hope you're good today, by the way. Hey, guys, we just hit 100 likes on the stream. Thank you all for hitting that thumbs up button. That's awesome. We've just smashed 100, guys. Can we get a hashtag 100 in the live chat? And thank you to all of you who've hit that like button. Make sure you hit the like if you haven't done. We're going to have a Q&A at the end of the show. There's one or two more things I just want to discuss very quickly before we get into the live chat. But pleasure hanging out with you legends and hearing your thoughts, and also you hearing me vent. Because I'm a little bit annoyed today, guys, with how things are going in this window. It is a frustration. Just classic more of the same Glazer shithousery. Okay, here's another link from Manchester United then. You know, this isn't, I guess, going to blow anyone's socks off. But Manchester United are among the clubs now showing interest in Gambia 2004-born talent Adama Bojang. Understand Eintracht Frankfurt and RB Leipzig are pushing to close a deal for Bojang, considered a huge talent. Don't know much about this guy, but reportedly for Gambia under-20s, he's done some really fantastic things in recent times and looks like a really great prospect. Seen a couple of clips of him. He's a big, tall unit and athletic and seems pretty good. You know, he's only 19, I think he is. But I don't, yeah, Mr. Bojangle says you what exactly. So look, he seems a good prospect. Don't know much about him, but this is the sort of players that we should be gambling on. They're going to be peanuts in terms of the amount we have to pay for them. And he could turn out to be a good player. You've got to give these players chances to develop and you know, obviously bring them in slowly. We're not expecting he's going to come in and score 36 goals a season or anything. But he's a young prospect who might well be a good player in the future. There's many players that we've talked about on this channel we could have gone and got, i.e. Moises Caicedo, Julian Alvarez, many players who we talked about years or a long time before City signed them or Brighton signed them. You know, long time we were talking about these youngsters for peanuts. We could have gone and got Caicedo for £5 million. That kind of thing. There's a lot of players that you can sign that may well go on and do great things in the game. That's what you have to do. You've got to gamble, speculate to accumulate a little bit. It's you know what's the risk for a big club like United to spend a few £1 million on a young player who could turn out to be really, really good. Great to see you again, pal. Thank you, Aidan McDonald. Much love, bro. Great to see you also. Thank you so much, Dad. All players are randoms at some stage in their life. Exactly, JK United. You're damn right. Absolutely. So if United had had the bollocks to go and sign, say, Erling Haaland before he went to Dortmund, when he was still at, was it Salzburg? Was it, guys? Yeah, I think so. And even before that, at Molde, right, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. These guys, we could have got ourselves a fantastic player, and there was speculation and links with that player for a long time. It's not like he just wasn't on the radar of anywhere, and then all of a sudden he's at Dortmund. No, we could have signed him. We had to deal with his agent and stuff, Riola, which wasn't really going to be fun, but we could have done it. We could have spent the money. We could have spent 45 million quid on a youngster, and people would have gone, wow, that's a bloody lot of money, isn't it? What a bunch of mugs. And then he would have just scored 30 goals for us and proven everybody wrong and been a fantastic player. But you have to speculate and take that risk sometimes. We didn't do that. We didn't do that. So it's very disappointing. Hey, TCG Hub, what's going on, lad? Hello, hello. Mikhail says Timber won't come to United because he won't start over Varane, and Koeman won't pick a bench warmer for the Netherlands. Same deal last year, I suppose, right, Mikhail, when there was that talks when Louis was there. You know, but why not? Has he not got the bollocks and the bottle to force his way into the team? If he's that good, then, you know, get your way into the team. Not only that, he can play different positions, so he could have opportunities at United. And, you know, let's face it, if I was a centre-back coming in prospect to sign for Manchester United, I would look at Raphael Varane and I would say, he's probably going to be out half of the season because he's an injury-prone guy. So, you know, I'm going to get lots of opportunities. I will get chances. I will get opportunities to impress and take my chance and get my place in the team. So, you know, if that's his mentality, then he's going to the right place in Arsenal, you know, because they're a bunch of bottle merchants as well. But that could be the case. Hey, Vincent Bullock, what's good? He says, we are not mistaken as we youngsters were risk takers with the old broken down horse's pig. You what, Vincent? Boomy says, Garnacho is the only young player we bought for 100k and he's now worth 50 million. Our only God's purchase besides Fernandez. Well, look, there's other, yeah, fair enough. There's other good sort of prospects that we've developed as well at the football club, you know, like Rashford, for instance. Rashford's bank board and bread, he's come through the system. And if you were to put a price tag on Rashford tomorrow, you know, obviously not with no contract or just a year's contract left, but if he had a 3 or 4 year contract left, what do you think Rashford would be worth, guys? Surely he would be worth like 120 million. He would be worth big money. But there's not enough of that going on at United. We haven't been developing enough quality top tier talent. I mean, if you go back and look at, say, Fergie's fledglings, right? Go and have a look at some of the Fergie teams, the youngsters, the class of 92. There would be a time, around about the turn of the millennium where you could say that a lot of these young players we've got and developed and bought for nothing, and even players like Schmeichel, who we bought. Didn't we sign Schmeichel for like £600,000 from Bromby, I believe? And players like that, Roy Keane, £3 million from Nottingham Forest, stuff like that. You would say that these players are worth an absolute eternity more than what we bought for them, paid for them. And same goes for a lot of the talents that we've developed. I mean, David Beckham and Paul Scholes and Ryan Giggs. Try to put a price tag on some of those guys around about that time. It's insane. We're nowhere near that now in terms of developing talents. We haven't been that club for a while, unfortunately. It's the likes of City that have been doing that more so, and some of these other teams, even like Brighton, or go back a few years, Southampton with their model of bringing so many good youngsters through. We haven't really been doing that much. It's a disgrace. Okay. Right, anyway, okay, so there you go. We have got a link with Adama Bojang. Nice one. So just a quick rundown of what we discussed in this video so far, guys. Then I'm going to get into the live chat for a few minutes. Let's see let's just give the update to anybody who's just joining us. So there is a new bid that's potentially come in. It seems like it's imminent for Mason Mount from Manchester United. Some reports say it's already sort of being negotiated, but Fabrizio last night said that he understands United will bid again for Mason Mount. Personal terms are 100% agreed and sealed. Mount plans not to sign a new deal at Chelsea. Man United want a quick resolution and won't make crazy bids. Chelsea now flexible. 60 to 65 is enough to get it done. Yeah, it's too much money to get it done, but we'll probably end up paying 60 mil. Ben Jacobs says United remain optimistic on Mason Mount. They know he wants the move. Chelsea very much in selling, not extension mode, after Mount indicated that he won't sign a new deal. Man United hoping for under £60 million. Chelsea would definitely accept a package of £65 million. So probably 55 to 60 million is what the deal is going to go for in the end for Mason Mount, guys. And reports from the Mirror, don't even know why I'm using this as a source, to be fair. It's just a bag of shite, isn't it? But it says Manchester United have found a middle ground with Chelsea over a deal for Mason Mount, who is now closing in on £60 million transfer. If you throw enough shit at the wall, some of it will stick. And that's what the Mirror are doing there, I guess. And I guess it's probably reasonable. Again, the Daily Star, if you want to know about the latest boobs, then the Daily Star's the place to go. But they say, just in, Mason Mount has agreed to sign a 5-year contract at Manchester United worth around £200,000 a week. Probably around about right, though. Probably around about right. And, of course, we know that Fab said last night that Mount plans not to sign a new deal at Chelsea. And he said that personal terms are 100% agreed and sealed. So, there you go. It probably is around about that. In regards to Declan Rice, we were talking about him yesterday and the possibility of Manchester United doing a deal to sign Declan Rice and maybe having a player go in the opposite direction as a make-weight in a swap deal, i.e. Maguire or McTominay. That's not looking too great because it seems like Manchester City have entered the race. Fab said Declan Rice deal. West Ham always expected Man City to join the race after Gundogan decision. Man City will only bid if the player agrees to the move. And it seems like just a little bit later on that they have done, because Manchester City have decided to bid for Declan Rice after calling West Ham last Friday to be informed. Man City also checked the player's side and understand that Rice is open to any move, so deal depends on the clubs now. Arsenal are still planning to bid again since last week. Man United may well be planning to bid again also, or bid for the first time from us also. But the reality is, even if we do, there's every chance that we don't get Declan Rice, because Man City have just won the treble. They've got the money. They've just lost out on Gundogan as well, so they're looking to replace with another midfielder. And it's just quite likely that he would go there, guys. So I think that that's almost nailed on now. I don't see Arsenal winning that race, and I hate to say it, but right now, unless we've got new owners and we start to be a little bit more successful, I don't think we will win that race either. So it looks like Declan Rice is probably going to Manchester City, which is a big shame. David Ornstein also reporting much the same, that City are expected to submit an offer to West Ham for Declan Rice today. They have serious interest in recruiting the 24-year-old England midfielder. It's anticipated that a formal bid will be lodged soon to rival Arsenal for the signing. And more frustration yet about Jurriën Timber, another Ten Hag target potentially. It's understood that Arsenal are advancing on a full agreement on personal terms with Jurrien Timber. The player has accepted to join Arsenal. Negotiations will follow between Ajax and Arsenal in the next hours and days. New bid expected soon. Shambles! And then just a final couple of little bits of information. There are reports that Mejbri is a player that is wanted by a couple of various different clubs also, and that Man United have entered into a bit of showing some interest for Gambia youngster Adama Bojang. That's pretty much the latest news of the day, guys. Now let's get into the live chat and see your thoughts and opinions. We're going to have a bit of a Q&A for 5 minutes or so. Have your say. We've got 107 watching, 107 likes. What a ratio. Thank you everyone for hitting the thumbs up button, guys. I appreciate you all. So yeah, if you want to have your say, hit the subscribe button. You do have to be subscribed to chat. But we will read out a bunch of people's thoughts and opinions now for a good little while. Thank you, Must Play. Appreciate you, boss. Vincent Bullock says, how come the Netherlands management blocking that transfer like you did with us for Timber? Well, I guess they don't want a player necessarily not playing and developing. I suppose they have maybe had that conversation in the past. We know that it was reported a while ago that Louis van Gaal, when he was a Netherlands manager, was not keen on him joining Manchester United, not only because we sacked him after winning the FA Cup, but also because he wasn't guaranteed to get game time 100% at Manchester United and maybe more of a used as a prospect and a rotation player, which is, I guess, maybe going to hinder his development slightly. So if he's given assurances that he will play at Arsenal 100%, then I guess it maybe does make a little bit more sense. Whereas if he's not given those assurances at Manchester United, you know, you can't really expect him to want to go. I mean, he's got that link with Ten Hag, obviously, and it probably is the best place for him to go. And Varane is an injury-prone player. He won't be here forever. But, you know, I can understand it if we're not going to give him those assurances. All the fruit will be picked from the tree while we have the rotten stuff on the floor, says Ruthless Sausage. Well said. Good analogy, lad. Stephanie Griffith says, any more page free sales juice, says Stephanie Griffith. Not yet, but if it comes in, I'll let you know very, very soon. God, I miss page 3. Catalan 94, they got rid of that, didn't they? PC madness gone wrong. Catalan 94 says, what, I live in Catalonia. 20 plus degrees every day. Well, fair play, it sounds nice. You like Abu Dhabi ownership, they have great experience. Might as well, looking for a young player like Disassi, says Must Play. Sheikh Mansour will sort out some changes, says Lucky Singh. Pig, who do you think we will actually realistically sign the way things are going? I don't know, mate. I think we'll be reasonably disappointed this window. We have to sign a goal scorer. I think maybe we'll go and get Rasmus Højlund, maybe. I don't know if we'll pay the money for Kane. That's what I would like to see happen, but I don't know if that will happen. I think maybe Rasmus Højlund, maybe Mason Mount. And then beyond that, I couldn't really tell you. I mean, there's players who I would want to bring in. I think that De Jong would be a great signing, but obviously that's not realistic. He wants to stay at Barca, and he's a bit of a, you know, he's very loyal to them, it seems, and Barca are scumbags to deal with. I'd like to see Kim Min-jae come in as a centre-back, but it looks like he's going to Bayern. You know, it's not easy, is it, to predict this? It depends really who we're going to have as our owners and when. If they come in soon, I'd expect us to go and get some real great players. Mount is likely the first signing. Yeah, that seems like it, Superstar. Absolutely, lad. We are always late. Højlund and Mounty, that's it, says Orlando. Free transfer, Marcus Thuram. Not a bad acquisition, Lucas. Sorry, Lucky Singh. Not a bad acquisition, bud. Must Play says Orlando, it's still 2 months, mate. Son, is that a good shout? Well, look, Son's a fantastic player, but it's not a realistic shout. He's got a reasonably lengthy contract at Spurs, but what a player. Yeah, great player, but it's not a realistic shout, unfortunately. Kane's much more realistic than that, because Kane is actually, you know, Kane is seemingly one away, and he's also, like, you know, only got a year left on his contract. Hey there, Henrik Kelman, what's going on? Hey there, The Hoop Man, how are you today? He says, drop a like if you haven't. Thank you very much, The Hoop Man. Give Real Madrid Rashford for a swap deal with Vinny and Camavinga, says Rifu Praz. I mean, they're very much wishful thinking again. Muani, yeah, Kolo Muani's interesting shout as well. It could happen as well. That's probably quite realistic. Son likes playing at Spurs for some reason. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it, Drew? What a weirdo. Rabiot's a good shout as well. Mikhail Kramer, yeah, absolutely a very good realistic shout, because it's not a crazy amount of money. There is the interest there. Probably get Johnny Evans back, says Mikhail. I am back, Charlie Pritchard. Hello to you. Thanks for noticing, lad. How you doing? Superstar says Kane is too soft. That's why Levy takes advantage of the situation. He should be firmer about leaving. Yeah, he needs to basically come out and almost do a shitty Ronaldo situation and just publicly say he really wants to go. That's kind of what he needs to do. Charlie says you should have gone and got Neves. I would have taken Neves at the club. Unfortunately, he's made a career suicide decision. Not a financial suicide decision. He's made a great decision financially, but he has made a decision that I think hurts his football legacy. He obviously doesn't really care about that. Otherwise, you wouldn't go and play in the Saudi League at 26 years old. So I don't really want him based on that. You would have taken Neves as well, Duke of Rodtown? Yeah, fair enough. Okay, guys, anyway, we're going to wrap up this stream here. It's been an hour. Thank you, everyone, for getting your thoughts and opinions in the chat. As always, it's been a pleasure. There is the latest transfer news on Mason Mount, Declan Rice, and a bunch of other stuff we've covered. You can come back after this video is finished and get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comments section afterwards and continue the debate after, so please do that if you want. There is another show coming at 8 p.m. I'll put that in the live chat here. Do us a favor, go over there, smash a pre-game like on it at the end of this show. Every little helps. And set a reminder, we'll be back on at 8 p.m. It will be Maisie hosting the show with a couple of the legends. So come and join us for that at 8 o'clock, guys, for a more Manchester United debate and content. That's right. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Smash the like on it before you go. Click the bell icon so you get notified when we go live and you don't miss the streams. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. All the links are in the description. Thank you to all the moderators in the live chat. People like Sing Games, Primot, Luan France, Gangshi, Mikhail Kramer, the Hoop Man, and everybody who's got in the live chat moderating. And thank you to all the members in green who support the channel. People like Vincent Bullock, JK United, Boomy, Sin Games. Who else? JK United, Henrik Kjellman, Superstar, Luan France. All the members, all the moderators, thanks for supporting the show there. Thank you, Gangshi. Says thanks for the show, Piggy. Thank you for watching, Don Gangshi, and everyone else as well. Thank you, Westy05. It's great to be back, lad. Now, hey, Welsh Red. Absolutely, my son. Good to see you. Thank you, McKay, Kramer, Gangshi, Premont, everyone. That's it from me. Come back afterwards. Keep the debate going. Drop a like and all that. Follow the socials in the description, and I'll see you very, very soon, guys. 8 p.m. show right here. Here is the link in the chat. Once again, go over there, set the reminder, smash a like. See you soon, folks. That's the latest transfer news. We'll keep you up to date. Stay locked. Keep your eyes peeled. We'll let you know the latest goings on at the football club. Hashtag Glazers out. Let's start the new regime immediately. See you on the next one, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Much love. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they sing, sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.